I just did a 15-second short on 365 Shinedown. So it was only 3 cards, so we'll start there and then I'll show you the rest. Where will we be? Where will we be in a year, huh? Everybody mark your calendars and let's see where we are in a year. I remember telling somebody in Wisconsin, it was the year 2021. I was hanging wash in my backyard, and I believe it was in the month of May. And I said, next year, things aren't going to be like this. In a year from now, it is going to be way different. And I will tell you what, I never went back to that house again. And if you can only imagine all the things that changed, I could talk for hours. So I'm doing it again. I'm predicting that next year at this time, I don't believe we will be where we're at today, meaning majorly, okay? Not just like a little bit. This was major. I never went back to the house again. The clothes I had put on the line, put in my drawer or hung up in my closet, got sold with the house. So I never got to go back to anything at that house again. And then everybody around me died, and I had to sell everything in every state. So it was quite major. And I remember telling the mechanic across the street the same thing, and he probably thought I was a little weird. This I was telling my neighbor, and she ended up, she's in a whole different house. She's not in her house. And the mechanic across the street, he had a stroke and he no longer has his business. So when I mean major, I mean like you're not in the same house, you're not with the same people, your health is not the same, everything has changed. And it's wild when you look back and you see something you say, a prophecy or a download that you're told, and then it's like you look back at it and it's just amazing. So I'm doing that again. So that's pretty big. 365 Shinedown. Okay, you want to look up the words, you want to look up the song. I put it on my playlist. I did a short. The first card out was the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups energy is a classic romance. And I believe that's what's coming in for everybody, that classic romance of your mission partner, soulmate, twin flame, whichever one you wrote in your contract will be coming. That's the easiest way to put it, is who did you write in your contract for the next 365 days? Okay? That's who's coming in to help you. Passionate soul. They wear their heart on their sleeve. They are taking action towards love, because love is the main goal now. They put down the pentacles and they said, you know what? That was all 3D thinking, and I'm done thinking that way. If I do get quantum, if I do get a future with abundance, I will help out everybody I can. But this working to get a pentacle, to get status, to get power, all that thinking's gone. And now love is the main goal. And they're going to take their creativity and combine it with you. So what's really cool about that is if you're a poem writer and he's a musician, and a musician, then you combine your skills together and you will make songs. Whether you play them songs for local groups, charity concerts, we don't know what the future holds. But it's not going to be the same as it was, where you go in a recording studio and you sign contracts with Capitol Records and all that nonsense, okay? It's a whole different view. So this is awesome. The Knight of Cups energy was the first card out. Then we had the Two of Pentacles, which is you're balancing yourself out. You're balancing yourself out now. That's what you're into. You're juggling your obligations, meaning you have 1 foot in 3D still, right? We still have to pay our electric bill or they'll shut it off. We still have to go to the store and buy our pet food and our food for ourselves, but we're focusing on our creativity and our love. That is different than in the past. We're seeking harmony and love only. We're at an equilibrium and an equality state where it's going to be equal give and take. If you're the magnet, I'm the steel. If you're the hammer, I'm the nail. Okay? That's how it's going to be. Then we had the strength energy. And these were the 3 on the 15-second short. So you want to watch that because it's really important. Inner strength. It's going to take inner strength because we're so programmed to work for Pentacles, to pay our bills, feed our family, be a CEO, be a boss, right? And go to the top. I mentioned that mechanic, right? He was doing that. He was a really successful mechanic. He had probably 50 cars at one time always in front of him, having to work on. He was on 9th and Main, and he was going to be there forever. He was going to work on his cars forever. He had great mechanics. He had great friends, probably in his 50s, I want to say. And I predicted that nothing was going to stay the same in the next year. And I told him and my neighbor that, right? My neighbor too, everything's fine. I'm crazy lady, right? I'm local. Well, her husband had a heart attack. They ended up, he survived though, I believe, and they ended up going on a strict diet, selling their houses, moving to a small house. The mechanic ended up having a stroke, having to sell his business because he could never work again. So I'm not wishing anything bad on anybody. I'm just saying, mark your calendar and see if in 365 days I'm standing here doing this. Because I don't think it's going to be that way. Okay, so we have to have courage, moral integrity. Balance again is coming out. Balance your fears and your emotions. Because what did I just say? That sounded scary. If I would have told the mechanic or if I would have told the neighbor what had happened, they'd have been scared to death. That's why we're not given the outcome. I was not given the vision of his mechanic business and his stroke. I was not given the vision of her husband and her, right? I wasn't given that vision. I was only given the vision to tell them that everything was going to change, completely change in a year, within a year. I never came back to see them to tell them. Remember what I said? Okay, and I don't have to. But that's why I'm saying, that's why we don't see everything. I'm not a future prediction woman. I'm an energy reader. I was reading the energy, just like I am now. And that song came on, and the Astro said, you've got to use that song and tell them this. And that's what I'm doing. Confirmation. I'm just telling you what Astro wanted me to tell you. I woke up this morning from Astro, and I was with Superman last night. I am Superwoman. Some call me Wonder Woman, some call me Superwoman. But I am Miss Mystic to you. But I was with Superman last night and some of my old childhood friends. And it was kind of fun because I got to see like the first crush, right? The first person you liked, the first person you kissed, all these childhood friends. And I got to say hi and bye to them, was kind of the deal. It was hi, how you doing? Look how far we've come. We've waited forever for this time. Oh, it's so exciting. And we were kissing and stuff. So have faith. that balance your fear, balance your emotions, and have faith. Because even though if I would have foreseen everything that was going to happen, I would have been overwhelmed. If you would have told me, well, everyone's going to be dead in a year, you're not going to go back to any of your houses, you're going to be in California, and you're going to be all alone, and oh my God, right? Your neighbor you're never going to see again, you're never going to see your mechanic again. If I was told all that, I'd have just lost it probably, right? So we're not shown the outcome of the energy, we're only shown the energy. And that's why I tell everybody to watch this daily, because I'm an energy reader. And if you know the energy, you can get through things easier. Look how happy I am today, right? Look how excited I am. And if I would have known that all that was going to happen in the year 2021 from May to 2022 of May, I wouldn't be here as happy as I am now, because it would have crushed me. I go through it day at a time, 1 hour at a time. Balance, inner strength, courage, moral integrity, balancing my fears and emotions, okay? So that was the Knight of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Strength card from a 15-minute short that took almost 15 minutes to explain. That's why a lot of people don't like shorts, because they don't really know what's behind it. But I still like to do them, and I'm still guided to do them. So that's what I'm doing. Do what you say. That came up in a last video, very much so. So what did you say you were going to do? Did you say you were going to move to California and you never have? Did you say you were going to quit your job? Did you say you were going to get a divorce? I don't know, but courageous and daring's coming up again, because we've got the Two of Wands. So courageous, daring, planning, activation, lots of possibilities. So once again, wands are magic emotions. They're your creativity, okay? Are you doing the Two of Wands? Remember the snap, and you'll be the first to go. My magic wand. Wands are all about emotions, and the Two of Wands is always my courageous and daring card. So if you haven't done what you said you were going to do, this energy is telling you to do it. And if you don't do it, you'll just get stalled, a tower will happen. You may even have to rewrite your contract, because the person on the other end is doing what they're supposed to be doing and isn't waiting around. That's another thing I wanted to tell you, is that the other person in your soul contract, whether it's you or them, if you both don't do this together, then the other isn't waiting around, okay? The Chariot is next, and it's saying that actions required, and you have to take the risk. So back to do what you say, you see how everything is going into this get busy? They told you already about the classic romance. They told you already about the Strength card, the Two of Wands, being courageous and balanced. But now they're saying that it's fast in coming. So if you don't take your risk and you don't put in your action, if you don't do what you say, the tower hits, the contract gets rewritten. You're not the only fish in the sea. Now, when I wrote my soul contract with my mission partner of 30 years, did I want him to be with me today? Yes. But I had to rewrite my soul contract, because in 2021, he was one of them persons that got taken out in December on Christmas, okay? So when I say that 2021 to 2022, May to May, was intense, it was. So I had to rewrite my contract. Why were they taken out? you don't need to ask why. You already know why in astro. If you don't know why here, well, oh well, you know, it's not really important. The important part is that you know, because I'm trying to explain this all to you, that you've already rewritten your contract. But if that person gets taken out, or that person doesn't do what they say, or they don't take the risk, they'll get rewritten too. Then finally, we have the Eight of Wands energy, which is quickly communication is coming in. So this goes hand in hand, this Eight of Wands with the Chariot. It really don't get much faster than that. Okay, remember when I said the wands is emotions and creativity? Well, how fast, when you take your wand and you're a magician, or you're watching a show where there's a sorcerer with a magician with a wand, right? How long does it take after he waves that wand for it to transpire? Seconds, right? It's incoming quickly, and it says it's very emotional, so keep high vibed. All right? So once again, when I said to you that all them people died, I didn't go back to them houses, okay? This stuff came in quickly. This is the kind of energy that it happened in. 1 minute, they're alive. The next minute, they're dead. 1 minute, you're having supper. The next minute, they're in the hospital. 1 minute, in your old house, hanging clothes on the line. The next minute, you never see them close again. Okay? So it's happening quickly. So you have to stay high vibed. How do you think I got to this point right here, as happy as I am? By going through all of that shit. Because I know it's part of my soul contract, and I take it 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time. I started listening to Steve's Love Tarot. I started listening to Tasha's Divine Guidance. I started getting a regression. I got a regression from Askana Buchanan. I did shadow work. And since I did my shadow work, I kept going day by day by day, getting better, 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 even though all this shit was happening. So I believe that that's going to be another year, like today to next year. I believe everything's going to be different. Okay? And I haven't got this kind of energy like this. It's exactly like 2021. Okay? This is the same exact energy as May of 2021. So, okay, and no, I wasn't reading cards then. I was still teaching Alcoholics Anonymous. We were just getting over COVID, so we were just going back into the meetings with masks and all kinds of crap. And we weren't over COVID because in December, that's when a lot of people left because of COVID, supposedly, right? So 2021 energy is back without the COVID, but it's the same. You heard that confirmation, but it's the same energy. So it may not be COVID, but it's the same energy of, wow, that person was here 1 minute, gone the next. Wow, we used to go to this and now we don't. It's some wild energy. So I'm going to go ahead and end this up, okay? We can take one more card to finish it up. What do you want to tell everybody? Stay away from being unbalanced. The Five of Swords energy. It says, keep balanced. There's going to be challenges. Just what I said. Truth always wins in the end. And it says, loyal, brave, and true. So if you can stay loyal, brave, and true, know that we've already won. I tell everybody that, see why I didn't see my year future of May 21? They only gave me 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, because that had been mind-blowing. So the challenges have to stay hidden, but you're going to go through them. please stay in the day, stay in the hours, stay in the moment, and especially stay in the solution of the problem. So let's say an earthquake hits, which it did last week, 5.3 or something, the whole house shook. At 10:08 a.m., I was listening to Steve's Love Tarot, and it was 1 minute and 11 seconds into his video, and the whole house shook. Okay, I lived in the solution, not the problem. The solution was just getting it off my chest and tweeting and talking and whatever, but nothing, no damage, right? But let's say there was damage. Then you just live in the solution of it. What are you going to do? Fix the window, call the window guy, right? Whatever the solution is, live in the solution, not the problem. Truth always wins in the end, so stay loyal, brave, and true. It's so important because that's the end of this video here, is saying that the Five of Swords energy, but it's a good energy. It's not a bad energy unless you let it be. If I would have freaked out and said, oh my God, I'm so scared, the pets would have felt that anxiety, then they would have been stressed out. You are like a ripple effect. You and your vibes are a ripple effect. So check out everything, 365 Shinedown. Check out the short. Check out this wonderful video again. There's so much in these videos, and we're in for it, but please stay in the moment. I am Miss Mystic, and I do thank you for listening.